Today to share with you that you can create with your children, your grandchildren, the neighborhood kids, or if you just want to have a fun craft day, whether it's at your church or a little camp project. It's a fun project that you can create using our Big die. It's a Big Plus die, so you will need to have the Big Shot Plus machine because it's a larger size die. I'm going to be using the Fantastical Butterfly. And it not only comes with the butterfly, but it also comes with, hopefully these pieces won't fall off, it also comes with the flowers and the flower center. So you have 3 assorted butterflies, and I'm going to show you an interactive project that you can create with the kids. It's a fun project using some simple supplies that you probably have at home, but how about this? So if you're enjoying the great outdoors, it's something that you can do with the kids so they can see the butterflies that they have flying around the backyard or outside the window, but have them cut some of the butterflies with, not the actual butterfly, have them cut butterflies with the Big die out of their favorite colors of maybe the butterfly that they saw that afternoon or that morning. So let me walk you through it. So I'm going to share with you using the dies that I have on this Big die, and also I've already pre-cut a couple of pieces using some different dies, and I'll mention what they are so you can get started on those. Those are thinlets, so it can be used on the Big Shot Plus also, but it's a thinner die, so you don't need the platform, but you do need the platform, but you know what I mean. If you're familiar with the dies, you'll know what I'm talking about. So let me go ahead and turn the camera down and get started. Bear with me. Hopefully you can see that well. Okay, so I'm going to share with you the folding technique. So what you need to do is you need to fold the paper a certain way, and I'm going to show you the reason I'm doing it that way so you can get a larger center. So what I'm going to do is take all these pieces off of the die. I just wanted you to see the fun assortment that you get with it. And I'm just going to be using one in particular. I'm going to be using, let's see, I think I'll use this one. So that's the larger one, or should I say taller one. I'm going to be using this one here. Okay, so what you need to do, if you're familiar with our machine, you have to have the cutting pad on the bottom. And using the die that I'm going to be using, what I want to do is show you this folding technique. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of paper. You just want to make sure it's long enough and wide enough to cover the half of the butterfly itself. And the reason I say that is you'll see why. So I'm going to fold the paper in half. This is our double-sided, it's called our Surfaces pattern paper, Sizzix Surfaces pattern paper. I'm going to fold it in half, and look, you have the coordinated pattern. It's from our color story, so all of our glitters and everything coordinate with all of our pattern papers. So you have a pattern on one side and another one on the other one, so it makes a beautiful butterfly. So I'm just going to show this folding technique just because it's easier to fold because it's a cardstock. But the one that I did here, I actually used our glitter. It's our opulent white or opulent ivory glitter cardstock, and it's a little thicker, so I have that one pre-folded, but this one's easier to fold just so I can show you how to do it. So you're going to fold the paper in half, and then you're just going to fold it. I think I did about a ½ inch, maybe a little bit bigger, another fold like that. So fold it in half and then fold it again, and you really want to bear down hard. So let me take my fold and crease tool here and just give myself a nice good fold. So fold it in half lengthwise. Make sure you saw that part. Fold it in half lengthwise, and then I'm going to fold it again this way, like this. So the die that I'm going to be using on here is this taller butterfly. So if you can see it, it's about this long. What I want to make sure is that I save my fold. And the reason I say that is because with this project I'm doing, you need to have the body of the butterfly a little bit wider than it shows here in the middle. So if I just laid the paper down here, I cut this perfect, beautiful butterfly, but I need the body to be a little wider just so it can hold the straw and the little skewer that goes in it. And you'll see how that turns out when I'm all done. So here's the fold here. Fold it in half and then fold it again a little bit less than, or more than a little bit less than a ½ inch, sorry. So what I want to do is the body of the butterfly, I'm going to lay the folded line into the center right there. So this whole part of the butterfly is exposed. This part here, I want to make sure that it's folded on the center of the blade of the butterfly. Maybe I'll show it to you on the actual die cut one here. So pretend this is the blade. I want to make sure this whole area is completely covered and only half of the body is also. So I'm going to lay it on the blade. Pretend this is a blade. I'm going to lay this like this, right there down the center. If I went like this, I'm gonna have two perfectly cut butterflies, but I want the butterfly to have a little dimension and a little length in his body for the mechanisms. So I'm gonna go ahead and lay it down like that, just like it is, but on the blade. So remember, with the Big Shot or any of our big dies or any of our machines, you want to make sure that you're doing it with somebody 13 years old or older. So something like this, it's a great project for the kids. Have them choose the color butterfly that they want, and then you can cut it for them and then show them all the folding, not the folding, the embellishing and all the little things they could do to make it a fun little project. So I'm going to go ahead and lay that fold right there like that. On this machine, the blade can go up or down. It doesn't matter. Now it would help if I had my other cutting pad. Hold on a second. Okay, so the blade is down, the folded piece is down the center of the body of the butterfly, straight down the middle. Make sure it didn't move. It's easier to show it to you like this with the pattern paper, and then I'll go ahead and do it again with the glitter. Run it through the machine and you'll hear the crackling. That's just because it's going through the couple layers. So don't worry about the crackling. It's just letting you also know that the blade is hitting the cutting pad and you have a perfectly cut butterfly. So here's the one that I cut. And with that folded technique, it gave me a bigger body. So this one versus this one. Nothing wrong with this one, but if you want to do that little mechanism, you have to have a bigger area in the center there. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to do it in the glitter so we can make the exact same one that I have, that I showed you that I had done. So let me go ahead and do the same thing. This is the glitter, our opulent ivory glitter cardstock. It comes with multiple finishes. This one just adds a little jazz to your little insect. Okay, let me run this through again. And there I've got the same butterfly, but he's out of glitter. Okay, so you don't need to worry about that part because that part's kind of going to be hidden anyway. Okay, I'm going to put the machine down because I do not need it anymore. Bring all my goods over. Okay, so what you want to do next is, so this is the finished project. What you want to do next is we're going to do this folding, this little technique here with the adhering it and getting all the pieces ready. So I just took one of those smaller hole punch. It's not the standard size that we all had in school. So you just want to have a smaller one, and you're just going to go ahead and you're going to punch a hole in the center. So you need to have skewer, which is kind of what you do in the grill. It doesn't have to be this thick. Mine just happened to be pretty thick. And a really thin straw. Just grab the ones that you got from any of the fast food places. Some straws are a little firm. Doesn't matter if it's the one with the bend here, but you just want to make sure it's thin because it has to do the, it has to kind of, if you can see the mechanisms, how it's bending there. You want to make sure it's thin enough to do that bending. Okay, so since this hole punch punched it perfectly, but I also want it to be a little bit bigger to fit my skewer. So I'm gonna, so the hole punch is in the center. I'm gonna bring my skewer up. Now I don't want it to go all the way here. I just want it to be still inside the body, within the body area, okay? Now, I also want it to be really firm inside, so I have some double-sided tape, very strong double-sided tape. I don't want to use hot glue because it's not gonna, well, I could use hot glue on the outside, but when I'm doing the straw, but you just want this to be adhered down on the inside really well. So I have this heavy-duty tape here. So heavy duty, it came off of my finger. Hang on, let me make sure it stays put. Okay, so I'm gonna put that in there like that and make sure it's held down. So hopefully you can see that, okay? I'm gonna do another piece on the opposite side just to be sure that it stays put. This is just really strong craft double-sided tape. I like to put it down just a little bit. Take my die pick to lift it up. And I'm going to put another piece of the double-sided tape on top of the skewer because I want it to stick to the other side of the body. And let me bring it up to the camera after I have it down put. Okay, so there's it's against the inside of the body with this adhesive, and then the skewer is on top, and then another adhesive on top of that. And now I'm gonna go ahead and close it. So you just wanna bear down really hard and make sure it stayed put. And take my little fold tool here just to keep it down. Okay, so that's all good. Some of the little adhesive is exposed, so I'm just going to cut that off. I don't need that. And then what I want to do next is I want to fold it down so none of the skewer is showing. Okay, so you have the fully, you want to score it a little bit better. Okay, so you got that like that. So it's all completely hidden. Actually, let me do one more piece of, let me use some of my glue, maybe that'll help. With the grit and the grain of the opulent glitter, certain adhesives don't keep it down strong enough. So let me go ahead and put that down. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I have some duct tape that also works really well. That's that fun, bright color tape that you can find in the industrial section. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there. So that'll keep it secure. Now, since I don't really want that hot pink to show, I'm gonna go ahead and put some more of that adhesive on there. And that way, oh, that'll be hidden and nobody needs to see it. Now, if they made a glitter duct tape, that'd be even better. Okay. So you're gonna close it like that, completely closed. And when they're kids making fun things like this, I don't think they would really care. They actually might like the fun adhesive color hot pink on the inside. So next what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your straw. Now for the straw, you're going to, doesn't matter which end because you're not gonna be worried about bending it, but you're gonna take your straw and you're gonna cut it down the middle about 1 inch. Down the center. You can cut through both layers. So it's completely able to open like that. Okay, next I'm going to bring the skewer from the bottom up. And then you're going to open up those ends that you just slit and have them adhered to either side of the butterfly. So that's how you want it to be, just a little bit above the score line. Okay. Take some more of that tape. Shipping tape would probably work well, but I noticed that it didn't stay put as well as the industrial tape. So go ahead and adhere that down, fold it. Another one to the other side, and fold it. So what happens is you're able to pull the skewer down just up and down just a little bit to make it flutter on by off camera. So what I did earlier is, what I had done is I cut another one. Now, kids are so anxious and ready to go play that they won't worry about seeing their mechanisms, but you know how us crafters are, we like to have a nice clean finish. So what I did for this one is I just cut the butterfly again and just adhered it with our express glue on the opposite side. I just cut the butterfly once, cut it in half, and then laid it on the opposite side of each side there. So let me go ahead and show you how I did this part. What I did is I had taken our jar with flowers die, and there's that little handle that comes with that. This is actually in our opulent silver mirror. So I cut that, just the little handle, and then I cut it in half. So now I have it like this. Then I did the opposite way. So it's the antlers. And then I just took some regular tape. Oops, sorry about that noise. And just cut the end off like that. And then the same die set, the jar with flowers, you have assorted little flowers that go with it. I had these left on hand. So what's fun about when you have a lot of die cuts and you're doing a lot of projects, keep all these little pieces because you never know when you're going to need them. So that was a perfect little thing for the antenna. So with my express glue, I'm going to do a little puddle. Do a little piece, little dab there, a little dab there. I'm going to go ahead and lay the antler, the little antler, he's not a reindeer, antenna, sorry, the little antenna with just a little buds on there. I thought it would cute little finish on for the butterfly. And then I'm just going to go ahead and adhere it on the inside. So you have that little open area in here. I'm just going to put a little glue in there. I'm going to use my tweezers, hopefully before this segment is over. This will be dry. So the tweezers are in our paper sculpting kit. Oh, that's not going to stick. And the perfect thing about it is they're the reverse. So usually when you squeeze tweezers, it closes it. Ours, you squeeze it in open so you can let it go and it'll, stay put. So that's the good thing about that. You know what I'm going to do? Is I'm going to adhere it. Probably would have turned out better. I'm going to adhere it to the back of the butterfly. That'll give her a little bit more whimsy so she can fly around the garden. Oops. Let's see. This way. Let me lay it down and I'll show you what I did next so this part can start drying. So he's going to go ahead and lay it down on the back. Oh my word. Sorry guys. When you put too much glue, then it decides to take a little longer to dry. Okay. Now I'm going to add the little embellishment onto the butterfly antenna. In this California heat, this should dry pretty quick, even though I have my AC on. Let me put my tweezers down there so have that stay put like that. So hopefully you can see. You turn it that way. Okay, I'm going to lay that down. So I had pre-cut some from the Floral Abundance die set. It comes with some beautiful flowers, a lot of foliage, and that's what I used to embellish the inside of the wings. So what I did is I put these, let me hold that down, on the top, and then the ones that are a little pointier, I put on the bottom. So you just do the reverse image. And then I had taken, in the jar with flowers, you also get a tiny heart. So what I had done there is that's what I had taken with our eclectic cardstock color line and used that there. So that's how I got the orange little details for the hearts. So I'm going to go ahead, now that the antennae are dry, I'm just going to do another little puddle and just dab a little bit on the back of that flower, or sorry, that leaf. And it fits perfectly on there. Bring it more towards the center. And then I'm going to do the mirror image for this one, so you can just turn it over so it's that way. I mean, it won't look bad, but it'll look proportionate if you do the mirror image. So you can either turn it over or cut it twice and have it against the grain of the paper. A little bit more glue on there. Oops, not enough glue on there. I'll let that sit. And then I'm going to do the same with this one, this leaf here. And what's fun about the art glue is it dries clear and shiny. So that'd be kind of fun to have like just a little, almost like a little iridescent. See how these match up almost perfectly against the one above it? Move my hand as it dries so you can see what I'm talking about. It just kind of flows perfectly into it, even though they're two totally different leaves. This one. If it was cardstock and not the textured glitter, then I probably would have used my adhesive sheets for these. Go ahead and trim that stem off. So she or he is coming together. So let's go ahead. How did I do that one? Do the hearts. So the hearts, I just did the same thing. I cut the little heart, put it at the top of the butterfly, right at his wingtip. And then I did a couple more to kind of hide, not hide, but cover the where the two leaves meet at the stem. Sorry, I have to do it this way just so it's not upside down. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and do two more. My fingers are a little sticky, so this is perfect. Turn that one mirror image. So that's the beauty of the dies. When they're mirror image, you know they're going to match up perfectly because they were cut at the same time, or sometimes at the same time, but definitely using the same die. So you know they're going to be a perfect match. Okay, glue. You're sticking to me, you're sticking to the die pick. Okay, and there we have it. Ready to go outside with all of the other insects and have the kids have a great little video of them playing with all the different colors and the different ones that they've created. So let me show you some of the other ones that I have done. I had also done this one. This is using our pattern paper, the Sizzix Surfaces pattern paper. Same exact idea, but the other butterfly. I thought that one was really cute. And when I looked at it, I thought, wait a second. Does this match up with any of our scribble or other butterflies? So this is the Tim Holtz scribble butterfly. And I realized it's almost identical to this one. So I will cut the body off of this. And I'm just going to put a little adhesive just on the body part. So it'll kind of be a little dimensional, and the other part will stay unstuck. Get this one. As my die pick rolls into the puddle. I mean, how perfect is that? I should let it dry, but I just couldn't wait to try it. How fun is that? It just matches up almost identical. Perfect, with the same shape almost for the top and the bottom. I love how that turned out. So that's a really fun one, using one of the butterflies in the same die set. Another technique that I had done is I die cut the I believe it's called Organic. It just slipped my mind. It's one of our Tim Holtz intricate dies. I cut that, but I had already put some adhesive on it. So before I laid it onto the butterfly, I put the adhesive on it, peeled it off, added it to just some plain white cardstock, and then I cut the butterfly. And this is how it turned out. So that adds a little detail to the butterfly itself. Another thing you could do is give the kids glitter, and they could glitter the edges. They can glitter just the antenna. It's just so many different fun ways that you can play with using that Big's die with the fun flower on it, and it has all the other fun little butterfly sizes on it. But I thought this one turned out really fun. I love how that one turned out. Okay, that's it. You know what? I want to show you one more fun thing that's always a big hit when I demonstrate it. Some of you, if you're watching, you probably have already seen it, but it's also something that is fun to do with the Big's die. So I need the machine again. And it can only be done with the Big's dies because there's so many folds in it that you have to use the steel rule blades, and those are the Big's dies. So you need to start with a solid square piece of paper. It has to be perfect square. It can't be a cardstock because you won't be able to fold it as many times as you need to fold it. So this one is 12 by 12, just a thin piece of paper. Cardstock is hard. So that thin piece of paper, fold it in half. And you always want to remember where the center of your paper is. So the center of the paper is right here. If I forget where it is, look at it, it's right there. So what I like to do is I like to keep my finger on that area. So put my finger there, that's where the center is. I'm gonna fold it one more time. There's the center, and then one more time. There's the center. Did I forget where the center is? The reason you need to know the center is, I'll show you in a second. This is where the center is, but just to show you and remind you, or if you forget where the center is, open it back up. There's the center, and just fold it the way you had already folded it, and just keep your eye on the center. So that's the center, and that's where you want to lay the top of your die, top of your paper. This is the point where the center was. And I'm gonna use the flower die. That's part of this fantastical Big's butterfly release. So this is one of our newer releases. So here's the flower die here. This is the top. I want to create a piece where I'm going to save all of my folds. So if I laid it like this, I would get 8 perfectly cut flowers, but I want to save my folds. So as long as I can see a little bit of that flower on the left and the right of all the folds, just the left and the right, here's the top. Here's a little bit of the blade showing on that side and a little bit on that side. I can still move it up just a little bit so I can still see it. And then you don't want to go too far just in case it slides a little bit. So I see a little bit of the blade here of the petal and another petal here. It doesn't have to be all the petals. It just has to be a left and the right exposed blade. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run it through the machine. Keep your finger there because you don't want it to shift. I'm going to go one more time just because it has a lot of folds in it. Bring this over. So here's what I just cut. And since we saved all those folds, look what it created. So you have all the centers. You could go ahead and put individual centers in there in different colors, whatever your paper that you're using. It's a great project. This could have been perfect for the butterflies. You can do it with stars as long as it's a Big's die. It's a popular little technique, something fun the kids could do. You could have them fold it and then you run it through the machine and then hand it back to them for them to open it up. And it's always a big wow factor that they will just love, along with their butterfly. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the camera back up. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed your little butterfly technique and that you come up with something fun with the kids to do this summer with this project. If you want to share any of your projects or something like this, we would love to see it. Tag it Sizzix and hashtag my making story, and we would love to see what you come up with. This is our fantastical butterfly, and we hope you have a fantastical summer. Thanks so much for joining.